want to get our liberties back again. I'm asked so often, why do young people seem to be interested? Well, why shouldn't young people be interested in their own freedom? But I think what's happened in the last 4 years, a lot of people woke up and realized that it doesn't work anymore. How long can a housing bubble last? Eventually it burst, and the people who were supposed to help lose their houses. So people have awakened and said, look, this system isn't working very well. This monetary system doesn't work. This entitlement system enriches the rich and not the poor. And also, we have a foreign policy that is deeply flawed, and most people in this country now, by a large majority, says it's time to come home. Now, we were able to stop, the Stop Online Piracy Act because people rallied. But guess what? The bad news is our noise and our voices weren't quite loud enough, because they went in the House today and overwhelmingly passed that new bill called CISPA, which means that that's just one more bill we're going to have to repeal whenever we get the chance, along with the Patriot Act, of course. Of course, the National Defense Authorization Act, that's an atrocious piece of legislation. That's the one that legalizes, with concurrence with the Congress, for the U.S. military to arrest American citizens that are only suspect, and put them arrested by the military and put them in prison, and no attorney authorized, in secrecy. That bill should be very high on the list for repeal as well. A couple of weeks ago, the President renewed a bill called the Defense Production Act, which has been sitting around for a long time, and it means that in a time of national emergency or war going on, the President has the authority, of course, to declare a total ownership of all businesses and all financial institutions. What the President did by executive order, he added the phrase, during peacetime as well. It wouldn't be that difficult. We don't have to invent anything new. We just need men and women of integrity that will take their oath of office seriously. If we got into this mess by not following the law book, all we need is to follow the law book, follow the Constitution. We'll get out of this mess. Since World War II, we have been in numerous wars, almost constant wars. Not one single war has been declared since World War II. So simply, why don't we follow the law and say that the people, through their representatives in Congress, are the only ones who are allowed to declare war? Even if you took just the past 10 years, our national debt has been pushed up $4 trillion because of all the wars going on in the Middle East. And what are the politicians talking about today? Democrats and Republicans. They're overly anxious to start the next one, going to Syria, going to Iran. I say, no more wars, get out of the wars and come home. Because in a republic, the government is supposed to be open. The people are supposed to have their privacy. The government is supposed to, if anything, protect our privacy. Today, as this legislation continues to be passed, and they're attacking now the internet, it seems like they don't care about our privacy, and we can't find out what's going on in the government. That, of course, is the real reason why we need to know a lot more about the Federal Reserve System. The natural consequence of destruction of currency means there's a transfer of wealth from the middle class and the poor to the wealthy. So this is what's going on. This is why there is anger. This is why they don't even pretend to balance the budget, why they don't even bring up budget resolutions, because they don't have an answer and there's no money in the Treasury. That is the reason. And I said, well, guess where most of the addiction is? Is it on the illegal drugs? No, most of the addiction is on the prescription drugs. That's where the real problem is. But the greatest danger in the war on drugs has been the war on drugs, much more dangerous than the drugs themselves. Many times in revolution, in my own personal life, in being engaged in trying to promote causes, people sometimes want to measure, well, how many laws did you get passed in Washington? Well, 95% of the people in Washington want to pass laws that increases the size of government. Why do I want to be on the list of saying how many laws I passed in Washington? And trying to get people to understand why a non-interventionist foreign policy makes more sense than being the policeman of the world. And also something, like an order I would like to cancel is that 500 million rounds of ammunition that the Department of Homeland Security just ordered. What do they need that for? The spirit of this revolution is not going away.
get another stop.